Wait. Oh, wait, it's on the wrong screen. Sorry. How do I... Oh, there we go. Hi. We're back in our store. I ran out of water. I really want to drink more water. We're gonna get like a mini fridge whenever we have a house or an apartment or whatever it may be. Um, I was playing around with like the transitions and like scenes on OBS. So like, I could do this. I could do that. Well, since wait, these are empty, so it's gonna go black. Oh wait, there we go. So yeah, we're back at our store. Um, okay, yeah, it's still whatchamacallit. I thought there wasn't any audio. By the way, we're gonna go ahead and fix these prices because it's not that they're bad. It's just that I don't like odd numbers. But that's just me, right? Right, that's just me. I like, everything to be $26 for a banana, Jesus Christ. I just like everything to be round numbers. Okay, come on, really? Okay, and those are 18. You also changed the price on these. Girly pop. Okay, wait, no, 25. Yeah. And okay. I think that should be it, right? Yeah, everything else seems to have a whatchamacallit. Uh-huh. Okay. We're gonna get that dude once we have things to sell, actually. Oh, so these go over here. Man. I don't like having just one of them, so I'm gonna put them down here. Gotta get rid of this box. And what's a good price? I mean, 90 bucks. Obviously just double. So we need to buy everything, we need to restock the shop. So, except with the exception of this, well, hold up, the sensitivity is a bit too high. I think that's better. With the exception of this shelf right here, I want to, make everything ordered. So we're gonna follow the order we had. So wait, we have how many? Oh man, we have 5. So there's not gonna be an exact number. I mean, that's fine. No, wait, X. That's what we wanted to do. So we're gonna do 6 of these, right? And that should fill up 1, 2, 3. That should fill up to here. Oh, never mind. Oh man, I think I butchered it. Okay, I mean, sure. That was on me though, but doesn't matter because yeah, there we go. Last time I yapped about cameras like the whole time. Today, let's see what we'll yap about. Leave your guess in the comments, since I can't see the comments, right, obviously, because I'm recording the video and it's going to be posted later. So leave your guess in the comment as to what I will yap about. Okay, since this one's not going to be like proper anyway, I'll just put it there. But then we're gonna get 4 green teas, right? Because like yeah, 4 green teas. I bought 2 extra ones of these. Oh wait, I was at the wrong part. Wait, what town is this? Is this New Vema town? Oh no, this is Skyro Bridge. Obviously we have a nice little Pokemon theme going in the background because unapologetically, Pokemon has made some of the best music, like chill music, ever. Obviously, this is like a lo-fi, you know, but still, even if it's not the lo-fi versions of them. By the way, this is not lo-fi. Lo-fi means low fidelity, right? Which means those like scratching sounds and like those like that little like the hiss of like old vinyl records, because of like imperfections in the vinyl itself, like in the surface of the vinyl. That's what low fidelity means. Just not like, it's not just for vinyl records. It's for any medium that had artifacts due to the medium that it was on, like cassettes, like magnetic interference, like putting a magnet near a cassette tape would like make it, would deteriorate the magnetic strip of the cassette tape. Ooh, this is Nimbasa City. I know that from the bottom of my heart. Ain't nobody loves me better. Oh, okay. Oh, how do we end up talking? Should we play that in the background next? Wait, what is this? Okay. I fucking love Nimbasa City is probably my favorite. You know what I hate? You know what pisses me the fuck off? There was this dude on TikTok, and it's 100% out of jealousy what I'm about to say. There's this dude on TikTok who started a little series of like, oh, influencers, like what TikTok would look like in the Pokemon universe, right? And he was like playing a character, like he was an influencer in the Pokemon universe. And there was this one video where he was like, yeah, you know, I may not live in Unova anymore, but I was born in Nimbasa City, born and raised, blah, 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 blah. And it pissed me off. And again, completely out of jealousy and envy, because I didn't think of it first. That's what pisses me off. I didn't think of it first. Right, so what he does is like he parodies like what's happening in the real world, and like he like adds in his little version of like his like the Pokemon equivalent of that. Like for example, like, you know, when there was like a lot of talk of immigration and whatnot, he was like, yeah, I don't really care for these Hisuian variants of not Hisuian, because Hisui was like in the Asian past. What's Galar. Like, I don't care for these Galar region Pokemons coming here into Unova and whatnot. And obviously, hee hee ha ha. Like, if you play the Pokemon games, you get the references and whatnot. It's funny. But I'm just so angry that I never thought of that myself. That's the reality of it. I'm only mad because I didn't think of it myself. It's the only reason I'm salty. It's the only reason. The only reason. The only reason. Should we play that next? We're gonna play that next. Although 5 Seconds of Summer or the fucking, sorry, not fucking, I didn't mean to curse at y'all. I would never curse at y'all. I'm a huge fan. But I was more so talking about your lawyers who would be the people like to copyright claim videos and stuff. I don't really mind if you copyright claim it. I'm not making any money of these videos. I'm not making any money of these videos. These are just for funsies. So that's okay. Just please don't take it down or like restrict it in like many territories. Well, I mean, I don't want it to be restricted in any territories, because like, what if you're in another country one day and you want to watch these, you know, like look back on these and whatnot. and it just so happens that in that country it's restricted and you can't watch it. But yeah, so please, 5 stars, copyright lawyers. I'm just a dude playing video games for his girlfriend to fall asleep. It really isn't that deep. I promise you, I'm not making any money. If I ever like start making money um on these videos, feel free to copyright claim them, and obviously, you know, take the money, because obviously, you know, I would have the money, the whatchamacallit. Oopsie daisies. How do I leave? Oh, there we go. Because obviously I would have like the song in the background, and that's not fair to you guys. So yeah, you could copyright claim the video, just don't restrict it, you know. Please and thank you. I'm saying that like they're actually listening to me or something. Or maybe they are. Maybe they're always listening. It's all a conspiracy, man. Okay, so we gotta change the price on those two. Yeah. Oh man, can I take them out? No, I wanted to put them on the other side, but that's okay. Okay. So we have some extra cacao chips, but I want to put something different here. Where's the X button? There we go. Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, it's already broken, so might as well just I just knocked over a laptop that was sitting on the ground. It wasn't sitting on the ground, it was sitting on like this little stool that I have in the room. But I use it to like lay my feet on it, like my legs on it, because you know my legs hurt a lot most of the time. But I forgot the laptop was on it and it fell over, but it's broken, so and it didn't fall that far. It was just like not even a meter it fell. I mean, I'm not gonna throw these away. I could, just for the sake of like not having them there, but who cares? So we're fully stocked in the shelf department. So we have carrot, grape. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 of each, right? And on this side, 2 of each, 4 of all the other ones. Perfect. Yep, that's Castilia City. Wait, what are these? Are these turnips? Because I was about to put them where they don't go. Sometimes I genuinely, like, when you're a kid, you know, or at least me, when I was a child, I would have a very imaginative brain. You know, the mind of a child, there's nothing quite like it. But often when I was sitting in the school bus, you know, on the way to school, and I had, you know, that kind of like not relaxation time, but you know, that kind of downtime, just sitting in the bus listening to music, I would often envision myself in impossible scenarios, because it made me feel cool. It made me feel different. It made me feel like my life mattered more than whatever was aching me in that moment made it feel. Right, let's say it was a schoolmate that was making fun of me, my parents complaining about maybe me not having the best grades, whatever I was feeling down for, I would often just, you know, sit and daydream. And normally it was like, it could be like, oh, this is N's room. It sounds kind of creepy, but it's not, I promise. It's more like melancholic, if anything, because N, the Pokemon character, has a really interesting story. No, wait, we need to do 4. Actually, because I see we have more. Yeah, we just unlocked more of them. How many did we unlock? Okay, so we'll do 2. 2. Okay. So we'll go with the ones we have. Pumpkins, I'm pretty sure we had. But anyways, what I was saying about when I was a kid. Yeah, whenever I would feel down, whenever I would, you know, I was sad or whatever, I would often daydream. And like whether it was on the bus, in the middle of class, when I was listening to music, I would just imagine myself in these impossible scenarios. And when you hear me say impossible scenarios, like what, driving a Lamborghini down the highway, sometimes it was that, and other times I would imagine myself like in the Pokemon universe, you know, going on adventures with my little best friends, you know, these creatures that I befriended and that were so loyal to me, and I don't know why, but that filled me with so much joy and just like I don't know if joy is the right word, but just hope, you know, like I would hope that that was real. I would hope that one day I would have that companionship that I seeked so much. These are mangoes, right? Yeah. And I've gotten it in many different avenues, whether it's you, whether it's my friends, whether it's some members of my family, right? I've been able to fulfill those little like holes in my heart that would kind of like ache at me, you know. And I'm so happy that I have been able to. And I mean, there's so much more that I would love to do, right? There's no denying that, and I don't think I'm even close to like fulfilling every single every little single dream, or like, you know, daydream I had, or like fantasy of mine, right? There's definitely no way that I'm close, but I think back to that little kid that I was and how sad I would get sometimes because I feel misunderstood. Growing up here in Latin America, having more than like having or being mainly entwined with American pop culture, it wasn't easy. Obviously there were things that were shared, you know, Friends, Pokemon, kind of Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. But when it came down to my personality, right, obviously children are just not a carbon copy, but you know, children are just an amalgamation of the things they see around them. So obviously growing up watching Thomas the Tank Engine, watching Sonic the Hedgehog, the TV, like the many TV shows that Sonic the Hedgehog had, what else did I watch as a kid? Like cartoons in English, you know. I would like there was a clear difference between me and most of the I'm gonna say most because obviously there are exceptions, but most of the children I was around, you know, there were clear differences between me and them, at least in the like in the personality department, the things we consumed, the things we watched, the references we quoted, stuff like that, right? And oftentimes it would make me feel alienated because of the language barrier. Like it was as simple as that. It was a language barrier, and it would make me feel, wait, hold up, I need to count. So we have 3, so 2 2 2 2 and 2 2, so that's gonna be 6. So yeah, it was a language barrier. Whether or not I want to accept it was, that's a different story. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. And at the top we're gonna have the Coca-Colas, but I think we have to move these because they don't fit. So yeah, but then, you know, I grew up, I found friends in unlikely places, or not unlikely places really, it's just, you know, places I never imagined finding friends. You know, I found you, I found like the other girlies at our middle school. they made me feel more at home than most of the other kids I knew. And then, you know, I changed schools and I was able to find some pretty cool friends there too. So yeah, all of this to say, it's sometimes it's crazy to me, baffling even, how heavy everything felt in that moment. You know, how like I genuinely felt the weight of the world on my shoulders. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I still do. I definitely do, right? Sometimes I feel like it's too late and there's no way I could potentially amount to anything anymore because I wasted my time, whether it's, you know, not going to college for exactly what I had in mind when I was younger, or not excelling at playing music at the time at the exact time I thought I needed to, right? All these different axes of like or like all these different avenues of what I thought would like complete my life. And you know, as everything in life, some things come and stay, some things, you know, come for a while and they go. Don't even get me started on breakups, because that's a whole like I could probably talk about that for a whole different hour. But yeah, anyways, sometimes I think back to myself and think, even though it wasn't perfect, even though I definitely have traumas and there are things that I shouldn't have been put through because it wasn't fair for anybody in the whole entire world, like nobody should go through those things, even though those things happened to me, doesn't really mean I deserve them. You know, and this is enlightened Brandon talking right now. Obviously, retrospective is, you know, everything is clear in retrospect is what I meant to say. Do we want to? No, we already have Hokkaido script. Hold up, sorry. We'll do the dumplings. Right? I didn't deserve those things. Like all the negative things that happened to me, that were outside of my control, obviously, right? I didn't deserve those things, and nobody deserves those things. And it's, even though it's hard to accept, right? I genuinely feel like part of me has come to peace with the terms, or at least the overall understanding that, hey, that happened to you and it fucking sucked. Ooh, plenong. That happened to you and it fucking sucked. But that doesn't define you. It doesn't define the type of person you are. It doesn't define the trajectory of your life from here on out. So even though you probably haven't healed the pain from what happened to you, and it's probably not going to be easy, it's not going to happen anytime soon, probably, at least in the bottom of your heart, you know that doesn't define you, you know, and there's no reason to live the rest of your life having that define you and define the rest of your life, you know, that there's no reason for that. So yeah, like that way of thinking has definitely helped me, and I genuinely have no fucking clue how I got here. Like sometimes I think back to myself and think back to my mindset, and I wonder how the ever-loving fuck did I manage to get out of that mindset, right? I could sit here and say like, oh yeah, because I'm smart, oh yeah, because this, oh yeah, because of that, but at the end of the day, it amazes me, and it's something that I'm proud of. Sometimes I deserve to, or you know, whether you think I deserve to or not, or anybody else thinks I deserve to or not, like pat myself on the back for that, I think it's irrelevant, because it's a thing between you and you know, like no matter what anybody tells you, no matter what people may think of you, if there's something that you changed in yourself and you're proud of that, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I don't think there will ever be anything wrong with that. So be proud of the changes you've made. Be proud of what you've learned. Be proud of the mistakes you've committed, because we sat here and talked about the whatchamacallit, we've sat here and talked about the things, the shitty things in life that happen to you, right, that you have no control over. But what about the shitty things that happen in life to you and you have full control over them, right? Those definitely happen as well. And those are your fault, but instead of writhing in pain, instead of sitting there in, like you fall over in the dirt, instead of sitting there and just crying over it, or just dwelling on it endlessly, instead of doing that, be happy that it happened, because now you know how to recognize it and how to prevent it from ever happening again. All right, at least that's the attitude I want to have towards it. And don't get me wrong, there's gonna be those moments in life where you still need to cry it, you need to get it out of the system, you need to fucking go through it the hard way, but what's important is to recognize the mentality of that moment, like recognize your mental state in that moment, and recognize whether you need to allow yourself to feel it, or whatever the case may be, or whether it's time for you to move on and just be happy and grateful that it happened, because you've learned from it, right? So all of this to say, I'm proud of you, and I'm proud of myself. We wouldn't be here if a lot of shit hadn't gone down and a lot of good things hadn't happened. So sometimes I look at the world, the state of the world in general, and while obviously thinking too much about it is depressive in its own right, and I don't blame anybody for getting depressed by looking at the state of the world we live in, sometimes I like to think to myself, in the endless, vastless vacuum of space, right? The Big Bang happened. In the chaotic natural entropy of the world, the molecules, the atoms, the quarks that comprise me somehow managed to find their way, along the history of the universe, to eventually become what is me today, right? Like the atoms that I'm composed of, they've existed since the dawn of time, and somehow they created me, or they randomly ended up in a configuration to make me, to make my parents, to make my parents' parents, to make my ancestors, right? Sometimes it's it's amazing that even happened, the fact that you're here, the fact that I'm here, the fact that all of our loved ones are here, it really is a miracle. And at the same time, it's not, that's what, to me at least, is so beautiful about it. Because yes, it happened. I can explain exactly how it happened, right? We could trace every single molecule back to the Big Bang, or the dawn of time, and yeah, it's obvious how it happened. It all has logic, it all has a science behind it, everything makes sense. But at the same time, you sit there and you go, oh, that's fucking awesome. It's so crazy, the journey they went through to make us who we are today, literally make us who we are today, physically speaking, molecularly speaking. It makes me very happy to think of that, because it makes me appreciate life a whole lot. But at the same time, it's the perfect excuse as to why sometimes life doesn't have to be so hard. At the end of the day, we're all gonna die. We're all gonna, we're going into the ground. Worms are gonna eat us, bacteria, fungi, whatever you may have it, right? And we're gonna probably seep into the soil, grow into a little tree. I hope, that's my only wish in life. Well, not my only wish in life, but my only wish after death is that, well, if I have any children to succeed me, that they're awesome, and they have a great life. But my only wish after death is to become either a lemon tree or a mango tree and a nice pretty little field, or maybe a house, you know, like in a pretty backyard, maybe with a pool, or not, it doesn't have to have a pool, but like in a nice Mediterranean home, and I can provide shade to people. That makes me so happy. Like, to think of that makes me so happy. I don't know whether it will happen or not. Like, I'll try to leave it in my will, like legally, like, please make me into a mango tree or a lemon tree. Either of those two are fine, or an orange tree. Sorry, anything that's kind of like vibrant and tropical. I would love to be a tree. Don't get in, like, I'm not gonna get into like the poetics of, oh, people consuming me and whatnot. I don't really care about that. I just care about being a pretty tree. That's all I care about. So yeah, I think life is amazing, and there's no reason to ever not be grateful. We will find ourselves in moments where whatever's going on in our life will overpower that gratefulness we should feel to even be alive. And not gratefulness in any religious sense, because me not being religious, I kind of see it like as an objective truth. You should be happy that you're alive. You should be grateful that you managed to end up on the same earth where Pokemon is a thing, where The Legend of Zelda is a thing. You know, the fact that we're alive in this time, the fact that I'm alive in this time, my anemic ass would have not made it in the 1500s. I assure you of that. So always be grateful to be alive. Don't let that that mindset though prevent you from feeling negative emotions, because negative emotions, as negative as they may be, are still necessary, because we can learn from negative emotions. We can catharsize, is that a word? You know, like, those are like, negative emotions are cathartic. Sometimes you have so much built up inside you that you have to let it out, and that could be done through negative emotions. Obviously in a proper manner. I'm not saying like go yell at somebody or go be mean to somebody, you know, but just like crying, sadness, anger, resentment, all of these negative emotions, they are useful to us in one way or another, right? In very specific cases. But overall, if you approach every single situation in life with like just happiness, love, and I'm gonna say tolerance, like, but tolerance is more like anything. Ooh, sorry about that. I burped a little bit. More than anything geared to like your relationship with other people, like interpersonal relationships. So when I say tolerance, it's not like you have to be tolerant towards the world. Like, you know, if a fucking, I don't know, if a bird poops on you, you're allowed to be mad about that. You're not like, a bird's not gonna poop at you and be like, oh, well, I'm grateful to be alive, so I can't fucking complain about this bird ruining my new shoes, right? Obviously you can. But what I meant is like, always be grateful, always try to approach every situation with happiness, and you know, life will be easier, or it won't be easier. Definitely not easier. I'm sorry, I made a mistake there. It's not gonna be easier, but it's definitely gonna flow smoother. You know, if you have the power, which honestly I'm about to fucking name it as a superpower, because the more I've lived on this earth, the more I've encountered people that don't have this ability to recognize the mindset that they're in and promptly either lay out the steps that they need to take to get into a proper mindset, or just, if they've done those steps, to snap out of that negative mindset and accept whatever happened, and there's no changing it, and there's no reason to keep living your life that way, right? And just strive for the better, right? The amount of people I've met that don't have the ability to do that, even the beginning of like the process, because, you know, let's not pretend like everybody has an easy life. There's people who are definitely gonna have a hard life, and no matter how much introspecting they do and how much therapy, or not therapy, but like meditating and being being peaceful and whatnot, it's not gonna fix their fucking problems. I'm not saying that that's not real. I'm just saying that for the people, you know, most people in a relatively that have a relatively not easy, but you know, like not achievable, but like, you know what I mean, like obviously like people like me, you know, regular Joe Schmoes, you know, you go to school, you go to work, or you know, if you want to start your own business, like, or you have the option, or you have the opportunity, right, to have a peaceful life, right? And then the only thing preventing you from that peace is your mindset. It's incredible to me, the people that, you know, have every single opportunity laid before them and somehow still don't recognize that their negative mindset is what's keeping them from achieving peace, you know. So yeah, anyways, I don't know how I got into this into this rant. I'm sorry. um I'm waiting for that mystery box because hopefully it's something cool. We want to get the bigger store. That's what we want to do. But I'm kind of waiting for everything to sell. Hopefully it sells before the hour that my buddy has over there. Oh, 48 minutes and 55 seconds, you know. Because when we get the bigger store, obviously I'm gonna have to move everything around. Obviously there's gonna be space for new shelves and whatnot. We can buy the bigger store right now if I'm not mistaken, right? It's 15,000. Yeah, 1500. Yeah, so we have 19,000. I do want to get more money though, because obviously like when we buy the new oh, it's cereal. Okay, I thought it was like whatchamacallit, strawberry Pockies. I was about to be so happy. So actually I don't know how this is gonna go, because ideally, ooh, ideally I think it would be for the best to have 30k when you buy the new, the last expansion. Well, it's not the last expansion, but like the next expansion, because you spend 15k on it, right? And then you have 5k for the next license, right? Like that's the money I want to have. I want to have 30k when by the end of the, like, me selling all of this, because you upgrade like this space, right? Then you could buy the license, and then you have 10k to get more shelving and buy all the products that you're gonna sell, right? We're not gonna spend money on these just yet, because they're a bit too expensive, and they're probably gonna take us out of the trajectory that we need to be on in order to like fulfill everything. Okay, so our profit was 3k. You know, we still have quite a few things to go. Yeah, the frozen stuff sells really quickly for some reason. I would assume the fruits was the thing that sells out the most, the fastest, I should say. Okay, let's see what this is. Can it be a Lafufu, please? Everybody has a, god damn it, everybody gets a Lafufu but me. Oh, there's not any, really. I thought there was an empty space. That's crazy. Oh well, you know what? Yeah, I could put these up. Like I'll start restocking these while they're selling. Nobody has touched the Tata cow chips. Isn't that sad? What about the ramen? Right, it's a ramen, I think. I think so. I think people bought this. Oops, just one. Jesus. Okay. Oh no. I thought somebody had bought one of the chips. That's sad, isn't it? I mean, I could buy more of these, but the point is not to buy. The point is to like run out of the things we have in stock, you know? So I'm going back in my corner. I mean, I sit here because it's like kind of a field view of the store, and you could like look at the people buying stuff, you know, it kind of looks cool. At least to me it does, I don't know. While I'm sitting here yapping about how to fix your brain or something like that. Therapy with Brandon. So Maria has a fish, Suko. You probably know him. I've shown him to you before. She was talking about getting a new fish tank because she feels like he's kind of depressed or like sad sometimes, like he's not as active as he used to be, and she's getting a little worried, and she thinks that maybe he got bored of his fish tank or something. Which, I mean, I don't know much about fish, but I mean that sounds logical, right? Especially if it's like on the smaller side of tanks. I don't think 5 gallons. Okay, actually, let's, you know what, let's Google it. What's the minimum minimum size fish tank for betta? It's gonna be 10 gallons probably. Okay, 5 gallons. 5 gallons is the absolute minimum. 10-gallon is the best, probably. Right, and the bigger you go, obviously, the better it feels, because the more that it mimics a real stream or, you know, a lake where they would live, or a pond or whatever. So what we were talking about, and let me open up a different tab. How do I move the tab over here? There we go. What we were talking about is, or actually, you know what? We could leave. We could do this. Wow, that's cool, isn't it? We were talking about building, or at least I mentioned it because I thought it would be pretty cool, a corner fish tank. Tankle, wow, whatever, amazing. Actually, let's go to Pinterest because it'll probably have the cooler pictures. I do not know how to write. That is so sad. I don't want to log in. Oh, it's gonna log me in automatically. Okay, let me just. There we go. Perfect. Ooh, nice. So, by the way, oh, I like this hoodie. Hold up. Ooh, I like this t-shirt. Ooh, I like this. Hold up. We're getting sidetracked. Not to worry, though. Okay, we're back. Oh, wait, I like this. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's right there. So, I saw some of these, right? And this is a 6-gallon tank, so it'll be slightly bigger. And obviously, right now, Celeste is the one with the fish. But eventually, I mean, if I have my own apartment, or we have our own apartment, I would like to get a fish. I love fishes, or like I love fish tanks. They're so freaking cool. Like, look at this one, right? I don't even know if this is real though. Is this AI? Because this one looks like AI. No, this one looks real. It might not even have any fish. Oh no, there's a fish right here. I think that's a beta. It's this 3-gallon tank though. That's not proper. So anyways, we had seen this one, which I really liked, right? And I thought, how cool would it be if we put it, well, let me open up another Pinterest tab, because how cool would it be to have this, like have something like this and like put this on top of it, right? Like, I'm not crazy, because like you could get like some hanging plants. Okay, like hold up, you got to see the vision. You have to see the vision. Hold up, how do I duplicate this? Okay, here we go. Right, so like some smaller ones, but like, you know, you get some cool hanging plants kind of on the side of them, right? Like this, like these, but way smaller, right? And you put it like around the wood brim of the corner shelf, right? And then you have the fish tank on top of it, right? And she was saying like, oh, you know how much a fish tank weighs, and that's a great point, because obviously these can't be screwed in like with regular drywall screws, you know. These have to be like, you know, I thought they were called masonry screws, but it's not. So this is more like handyman lingo and stuff. But so what you use is a masonry drill to, like, you know, to drill a hole into concrete, right? These big boy drills, like these are the type of drills that you use to drill into concrete and tougher surface, or tougher composites. No, I don't think it's, you know, but cement, right? Or concrete, or bricks, right? And then you would need probably some of these Capcons. Wow, I do not know how to write. Right, but no, wait, no. You need the long ones. I don't think, probably these. Yeah, these look more like they could hold up that way because, fun fact, when it comes to weight and density, right, water, drinking water may be like you know, like drinking water with like chlorine and phosphorus, I think it has, and I don't know if it has magnesium in it, like small trace amounts of it, may be a little different. But for the most part, water is like the perfect weight to volume ratio liquid, meaning that for every kilogram of water, or for every liter of water, I should start, right, you'll have 1 kilogram of, well, it's not weight, it's mass, but you know, in simplified terms, we just call mass weight, which is not the same thing, but that's a, you know what, no, that's not a science, it's not a, I was gonna say it's a science lesson for another day. No, the fuck it's not. Hold up. Because I need you to be on the same page as me. Okay, we're gonna make this even bigger. Okay. Oh, just, bro, whatever. Okay, here we go. Perfect. So we have mass, right? Which we often call kilograms. Not often. This is the standard SI unit for mass, right? We have weight. Right? And we also often call it kilogram. But it's not kilograms. Or it shouldn't, kilograms is not a unit of weight. When we talk about units, we talk about the SI units, right? The International System of Measurements, right? Weight is a force. A force is simply, to put it simply, wow, great job, Brandon. You know, we have different categories for the universal, like, magnitudes. That's the right word. Weight is a force. The same way that gravity exerts a force on you, which keeps you grounded to the planet at 9.81 meters per second squared, which is the acceleration of the gravity on Earth, the median one, at least, because it does change depending on where on Earth you are, right? That force that is being exerted on you, we know it as gravity, right? But gravity is just the effect. The force is weight. What is holding you down is the weight. So the weight is actually normally measured in newtons, right? Or just the N. That's a very ugly N, but bear with me on this, okay? So weight and mass are not the same. And how can I prove this to you? Density, right? So to talk about density, we first have to define volume. Right? Volume is the three-dimensional magnitude of space, right? So normally you'll see it as cubic meters, sorry, or meters cubed, but you know, I'm gonna do it right. So it's an M with a little 3 at top, right? So meters cubed. And how, when do we talk about this? Liters. Liters is also a unit of a volume, right? That's the most common unit of volume. I think the SI, the proper one, is meters cubed, but you know, for practical purposes, we just use liters. You know, when it comes to like drinks, like things. So obviously, US gallons are also a unit of volume, right? The same way as ounces is a unit. No, wait, is ounce no, I think it's a unit of, none of these. It's okay. Is ounce, are ounces mass or weight? Okay, sorry. So ounces are mass, not weight. It's wrong. But fluid ounces are volume. So we're gonna okay, focus granted, right? So when we talk about volume and we talk about mass, then we talk about density, because it's how much mass is in any given space. So to think about it, think about a cube, right? So let's say we have this little cube right here. Let's say we have another cube, like, well, it's gonna be ugly, but this should be here. I'm sorry. Hold up. Can I erase the whole thing? Oh, perfect. That's better. Right? So when you think of a cube, like a Rubik's Cube, right, you have 3 axes, which are the 3 axes we have in our 3-dimensional world. You have the x-axis, right? Or, well, this is actually the c-axis. I'm going to do it as the c. You have x, which let's say it's up, right? And then you have y, which let's say it's side to side. Actually, no. Y is up and down. X is left to right. Right? Yeah, this is y. So y is up and down, x is left to right, and then z would be going front and back. Right? So y is jumping up and down, z is moving forward or back, and x is moving side, to your left or to your right. So 3 dimensions, like we have in the world. If we talk about a 2-dimensional drawing, right? Let's say a square, right? I can measure how long this side of the square is, and I can measure how long this side of the square is. And if I add those together by multiplying them, I have area. Right? Which is like when we talk about houses. Oh, how big is your house? 500 square meters. Blah, 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 blah. But then when we have volume, right, it adds this 3rd z-axis into it. So think about it like, think about this house, right? Let's say this is a house right here, right? Think about it as just you going front to back and left and right, right? To circle the house, well, not circle, but to go around the perimeter of the house, you just walk forward, then you walk left, then you take another left, then you walk back, then you take another left, you walk to the front, then you take another left, and you end up right where you were, right? But then if you add volume, is think about as if you could float, and then how high in the sky you go, right? And the cube that forms, that imaginary cube that it would form, that is volume. Right? So when we talk about a soda bottle, we say, oh, it's a liter, right? Okay, that's a liter of soda. That means that there are X amount of particles inside that soda bottle, which is comprised of the 3 axes. It can go up, it could go down, it could go left, it could go right, and it could go front, and it could go back, right? So there's 3 axes there. My problem when we talk about weight is that we normally, oh yeah, I weigh 50 pounds. No, you don't weigh 50 pounds. Your mass is comprised of 50 pounds. The weight that you exert on the ground that you are walking on is whatever that weight is multiplied by 9.81 meters per second squared, because that is how much you are accelerating. Force is mass equals, no, sorry, not equals. Force equals mass times acceleration. That is the simplest of the formulas for force. And if weight is a force, you can't say that your force is 50 pounds, because that is only half of the equation. The acceleration that gravity exerts on the human body or any object in our gravitational pull is 9.81 meters per second squared, right? So if you say, oh, I weigh 50 pounds, you're missing half of it. You weigh 50 pounds accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared. It pisses me off that nobody understands this simple concept, and when I explain it to them, they're like, oh, but that doesn't make any sense. Yes, the fuck it does. Sorry, I got a little angry, right? I can show you this, right? Weight is a force. We have normalized speaking of mass as weight because for practical purposes, we can assume that every single object on Earth is moving or accelerating at 9.81 meters per second squared. So, yes, for practical purposes, we can remove the acceleration from the equation, and just by saying the mass, everybody else can like overstand, right? We can assume that we're talking about an object on Earth, right? But the reason why this pisses me off is because people say like, oh, if I weigh 50 pounds here, I would weigh less on the moon. No, you're still 50 pounds. The force that the gravitational pull of the moon is exerting on you is different. Therefore, the force of the weight is different. Yes, that is what's different. But you don't weigh less, or your mass is not less, to say it properly. Your mass is still 50 pounds, right? The effects of it are just lessened by the lower gravitational pull. So I hope you enjoyed this impromptu science physics class, actually. Next time we'll be talking about valence electrons. That's a joke. I love valence electrons, though. I love that class in science. I don't know what valence electrons falls under, like that topic of like molecular, like just like breaking down atoms and like molecular structures and whatnot. I don't know if it would be chemistry or physics, because from the chemistry side, obviously, you know, you're dealing with the periodic table and whatnot, and different elements have different slots for valence electrons. But then on the physics side of it, you are talking, well, no, it's chemistry, right? Because like when physics is involved, we're talking about like, oh, the speed of protons and electrons. Neutrons don't have any speed. I mean, they could. Yeah, I mean, they could. You could shoot a neutron. That's actually I believe it's a nuclear fission, right? So like what makes nuclear plants, or half of nuclear plants, right? You can either have a nuclear fission or a nuclear fusion plant. A nuclear fusion, as the word implies, you're fusing atoms together and basically just using the energy created from that fusion. But in fission reactors, you're splitting atoms, and a lot of the times, I think, or the first way we found to split atoms was with like shooting neutrons at it, right? Like the particle, the neutron. Let me fact check that though. A neutron strike, yeah. So we shoot neutrons at the nuclei of atoms, right, which is the plural of nucleus. And then it'll split into smaller pieces, right? And that releases a lot of energy. So this is the basis behind no, wait, I think Oppenheimer's bomb was a fusion bomb, right? It was a hydrogen fusion bomb, wasn't it? Was Oppenheimer's bomb fusion or fission? Okay, it was a fission bomb. So I'm assuming that but they would shoot heavy uranium or plutonium. Okay, so full atoms into other full atoms. Okay, that's dope. Well, no, it's not really dope. Like, the science behind it is cool, but you know, the implications of it were not. Anyways, I'll show you. Let's go back to the store really quick. Let's see how much. Okay. Oh, we have 27k. Okay, that's good. That's pretty good. And we can claim 10k. So that pushes us over our threshold of what we wanted to do. So that's definitely dope. And I mean, my buddy still has 26 minutes to go, so I'll let him empty out the store. But that shouldn't take too long. And I think in the next episode we'll do the store upgrade. Like we'll change up the store and whatnot. I know we don't want this one because like we don't have anything to restock, right? So I think we have another hour. to go, so I'll record the next video for you. But for now, this is where we're gonna end off with 38k in our nice little piggy bank, and we're gonna get the next store upgrade. We're gonna probably put some more shelves, some fridges, some more freezers and whatnot, and it's gonna be a swell old time. So I'll see you in the next one. I'm sorry for ranting about science. It really pisses me off. The reason why it pisses me off is because once I had an argument with a person who refused to understand or even attempt to understand, right? And here's my thing. I don't know everything about everything. I'm clueless when it comes to programming. I'm clueless when it comes to, I don't know, what's something I don't know. Okay, I make it sound like I know everything. Oh wait, I need to close the store because these guys are getting mad. Right, so I'm clueless when it comes to biochemistry. Jesus Christ, am I ignorant in biochemistry? T cells, organic chemistry, I hate it. I hate everything that comes along with it because I don't understand it. Because inorganic chemistry was always easier for me because the UPOC and the, what's the other one? So these are like not companies, but like international standards in the way like that basically tell us how to name and like how do we refer to certain like molecular compounds. So for example, H2O, right? Or technically under the UPOC, I believe it would be hydrogen dioxide, right? Because there's 2 oxygen atoms, 1 hydrogen atom, right? So D for 2, oxide, oxygen, hydrogen, it's just 1 hydrogen atom, right? So the UPOC makes it very simple whenever it's inorganic compounds. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, hydrogen peroxide, right? 4 atoms. Everything that has 4 oxygen atoms is peroxide, right? Manganese peroxide, right? Easy. Or if you have 4, like anything that's per is 4 because you have well, I know it in Spanish, pero manganato de sodio, right? You have 4 magnesium atoms and 1 sodium atom. Easy, nice and simple. I'm not even going to get into inorganic chemistry, but if I'm debating somebody and they, the topic is organic chemistry or biochemistry, and they tell me, no, you're wrong about that, I'm smart enough to be like, you know what? I'm not that good at biochemistry. I was never that good at biochemistry. So this person who has a degree in biochemistry is probably right, So I'll trust them, right? If I could learn it for myself, awesome, right? But I was debating this person, and this person was into software, right? And that's amazing. I don't know jack shit about software, or like I'm not that good at programming, like in the slightest, right? And I was telling them, I just saw this in my physics class, and all of my physics books say the same exact thing. Weight is a force. Yes, we normally call it mass, right? Or we normally refer to mass as weight and whatnot because it's simple for us humans on our day-to-day basis. But technically, I'm just saying, technically, this is the right way to refer to it, in newtons, because it's a force. They're like, no, you're wrong. That doesn't make any sense. And I was like, bro, if the topic was how to code in Python, how to set up a server, how to set up a NAS, and you were telling me, hey, whatever you're talking about is wrong. Cool. You're probably right. I get it. I'm not that knowledgeable on software and systems and stuff like that. Right? I'm not great with like the insights of computer, like how like software and stuff, I'm not great at that. But I'm telling you, me in 12th grade, who is actively learning these things and seeing them in physics books, and I had 3 physics books that year. You only needed 1, but I really liked physics, so I got another 2 of them. And I'm telling you, all of them say the same exact thing. So you're gonna sit here and look me in the eye and tell me I'm wrong? You're stupid. Like, yo, you are stupid. There's no ifs and buts about it, right? If you're gonna sit here and debate something you have no knowledge on or limited thereof, And you're gonna sit here and talk with all the confidence in the world. You're stupid. So that's why I ranted about weight and mass and volume. I'm sorry. Anyways, I'm gonna cut it right here. If you're sleeping, I hope you're having the most beautiful dreams ever to have been dreamed, I guess. And I'll see you in the next one. I love you very, very much.